Joining us once again is the superintendent from the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, Ken Gutman, back with us on the MegaCast. Ken, thank you for being with us today.
Good morning, and thanks for having me back. I appreciate it.
Appreciate having you on. So you were one of our early guests, first guests really early on when we were doing the show in the pandemic, just under 2 years ago. And so now 2 years passed, still a lot of changes being undergone by our school districts, including in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District. As of late, what have been some of the more key changes that have been undergone by your school district, as learning's been more so in person than it has been at any time over the last 2 years?
Right, and we've come a long way from when we first talked a couple of years ago, going through this pandemic together. The good news is we've been in person for a long time now. We've been in person since I think August of 21. I'd have to verify that, but we've been in person for a long time now. That's not August 21. I'm sorry. It's well before that. But ultimately, we've been in person for a long time. And so ultimately, we feel really good about being in person. We know that we've offered a virtual option, and certainly there are those who succeed and thrive in that environment. But for the most part, we know that good instruction takes place in person. And so we're really proud of that. In terms of changes, we continue to follow the county's mask mandate. That's not really a change. But we do know that certainly we look forward to the day when we can have instruction and see each other's faces and see the smiles and go back to, I think, what we would consider normal, and hopefully it can become normal again.
And in many school districts still today, we're hearing a lot about staffing issues continuing to be an issue, as it is in other industries as well, not just in education. In the Walled Lake in particular, what's the staffing situation over there, particularly among our educators right now, where it's been scarce or it's been sparse? In some ways due to COVID, and others due to job openings remaining open in other school districts.
We've been really fortunate here in Walled Lake in that most of our professional positions are filled. Certainly there are hard to fill positions, not just here, but across the state. We've been somewhat insulated here in this area in terms of our professional staffing. Where we struggle are some of the other areas. I mean, finding bus drivers is particularly difficult. It's been a real pain point for us, and we're deeply sorry to our community that we haven't been able to fill all of our routes. Fortunately, we have help on the way, though it's not coming fast enough. And so the training process takes a while. But there's been an impending teacher shortage for years, and it's just starting to come home to roost, right? You know about it. And the difficulty is, for years, we've underfunded education. And then we've denigrated it. We've put in an outdated and punitive evaluation system, and then we wonder why people aren't going into teaching. And so the pandemic exacerbated the issue, but certainly that issue is here to stay, at least for the foreseeable future.
We're joined by Ken Gutman, superintendent of the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, joining us on the MegaCast. And so you mentioned that many of the bus routes in the district have been canceled, or students have had to be rerouted to other bus routes due to staffing shortages with your busing partner, Dean Transportation. So how have those routes been impacted across the district, and when can parents be expecting? You said that a solution is oncoming, but it's still a ways away. At this moment in time, what is that estimated timeline for when some normalcy to these bus routes, or more so return to form in these bus routes, can be expected by parents in the district?
We sure expect and hope that it will be very soon. We thought when we turned the corner on the new year, we would be able to staff all of our routes. Unfortunately, there were some health issues. I think COVID has certainly created another layer to the shortage we have with our bus drivers. But we hope to have everyone healthy, new staff members trained, ideally as soon as we can. I mean, I don't want to promise what day it will be or what week it will be, but we're certainly as frustrated as anybody and want this resolved as quickly as possible.
We're joined by Ken Gutman, superintendent of the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, with us today on the MegaCast. And of course, we had just a few months ago on November 30th a tragic shooting at school at Oxford High School. That's brought a different question of maintaining school safety to all of our schools, not just here in Oakland County, but across the state of Michigan and across the U.S. once again in the wake of that tragic shooting. And the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, being that Oxford is so close to home, it's a district that I'm sure your school district and our other local school districts have a lot of communication with. How has that impacted things in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District and your district's continued focus and modification of its safety standards?
Yeah, really good question. And first of all, and most importantly, our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers are with the Oxford community as they continue to recover to the degree you can ever recover from a tragedy such as that. Yeah. I can also tell you that I've been in touch with their superintendent, that we've been there. They're grateful for the assistance we've been able to provide, just sending therapy dogs and other staff members and others to help them heal. And knowing so many people in the community, knowing we have staff members who live in that community, it's all just very deeply personal as well. And so that's not the question you asked, but that's really important to all of us here. I will tell you that we've been leaders since I want to say about 2014, where we had a safety, security, and technology bond. We have all of the latest types of security in our buildings, and at the same time, there's more to it than just the physical safety. So we still need to do more in terms of people's emotional health. We need to have more resources for psychologists and social workers and others. There's a whole different component to it besides the physical structure. We have the secure entrances. We have the video systems. We are fortunate to have 3 police liaison officers working in our schools. And so we have so many things in place, but there's more to it than that. And there's a lot that happens outside of school that we need to continue to work with our community and build capacity to keep all of our children and our staff safe.
So then on that front, to make those modifications, to make those changes in policy and to build those programs in your school district, what's been discussed either at the board level or at the administration level as some future changes that are either being considered by the school district as additions to their current curriculum or as addition to their current support systems that would be able to provide those necessary changes in the future to help with prevention tactics, help aid prevention tactics so that there isn't ever even a chance, or there's a much lower chance of there ever being such a tragedy or anything remotely similar to the tragedy at Oxford High School in Walled Lake.
Yeah, thank you. So we are adding a number of social workers. We are looking at mental health supports in our district. And at the same time, we're working with our legislators because we understand now that in Michigan, now there's an impetus to see more change and more support for public schools in terms of safety, security, and that's just not just physical. So we do believe our legislators will come through and help out, whether it's through funding or supports, that we can help put more proactive supports in place than we currently have throughout districts in the state of Michigan. And of course, in Oakland County, we know we were more impacted than others across the state in terms of canceling schools, in terms of fear. It's a horrible situation, and so we need to get out in front of it. And we certainly would appreciate our legislator support in that.
We're joined by Walled Lake Consolidated School District Superintendent Ken Gutman on the MegaCast. You can learn more information about the school district and keep up to date with everything going on across the district and within its administration and its school board by visiting their website at WLCSD.org. That is WLCSD.org. It also provides links to their social media so you can stay up to date on the fly with the district as well. And so, Ken, the discussions with parents over the last several months during the pandemic, some of them have been very chippy, some of them have been a real back and forth between school districts, between administrators across the district, between really everyone involved in what goes into running a school district on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. As we continue through the current crisis, through the COVID-19 pandemic, as we're trying to build a better educational future for the industry, for our children especially, that will be coming into the schools and are currently in the schools, how much more important has these past several months especially, even those more difficult conversations or those less than cordial conversations with parents or within the school district, how has that helped to inform the necessity of quality communication going forward so that these changes that need to be made to the better education as it is and as it will be can be made going forward?
Yeah, we welcome feedback, whether it's positive or negative. You don't grow in your comfort zone, and we certainly want to hear from everyone. At the same time, we just want those conversations to be respectful because we all want the same thing. We want what's best for our children. We have different perspectives on how to get there. We certainly have a different backgrounds, and some have more educational backgrounds, some have backgrounds in business, and others. Ultimately, we want what's best for our children. And so we welcome all of that dialogue, and we certainly know that you can't put out enough information anymore. And the speed of information is much greater. So, I will tell you that when you talk about chippy conversations, Tyler, we prefer to have honest, open, respectful conversations. We understand that people are passionate. Think about this community. This is such a caring community. The fact that people want to be involved, and we have people on every side of every issue. But if we can continue to have these involved parents, it speaks to the strength of our district. And if we continue to have respectful dialogue about what's best for our children, we go a long way. And we're really fortunate here in Walled Lake to have the kind of parents that support our school system and support children.
We're joined by Ken Gutman, Superintendent of the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, joining us on the MegaCast. You can learn more information and keep up to date with the school districts by visiting their website at WLCSD.org. And so, Ken, a few more minutes with you today. Lots of events go on in the school district and interesting projects in the school district all throughout the year. In the coming few weeks and in the coming months, what are some things we should be looking forward to in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District?
I really appreciate that. I'm really excited. We're so fortunate to have our Foundation for Excellence under the wonderful leadership of Ms. Michelle Bianco. We have our Education Foundation Tuition Expedition coming up. So tickets are on sale now. If you go to our website, it's WLCSD.org/FFE, and it's a great way to defray the cost of college should you win. We do have kindergarten orientation coming up soon, all 12 elementary schools on Monday, March 14th at 6 p.m. Schools of Choice window is open now. And Hello Dolly. Hello Dolly for those theater fans is coming to Walled Lake Northern February 10th through the 13th. And one more thing I want to share is that at our March board meeting, we'll be celebrating our Teachers of the Year. And so we're really excited about that. We were able to surprise them in their classrooms. And the finalists for elementary, middle school, and high school. And we have 19 Teachers of the Year we'll be honoring at our board meeting in March. We're really excited about that. The quality of teaching, the quality of staff we have here is beyond compare. We're really proud of them.
Again, you can learn more information at WLCSD.org. To keep up to date with everything that's happening in the coming months over at in the Walled Lake Consolidated School District, as well as their Foundation for Excellence at WLCSD.org/FFE. Ken, anything else for us today before we let you go?
No, we just really all of us appreciate you reaching out to us. We'd like to continue to keep this dialogue open and the opportunity to share all the great things and even some of the things that aren't so great, like transportation right now. To be able to share them with you means a lot to us.
We appreciate your time as well and keeping us informed, helping us keep the good people of the Walled Lake Consolidated School District informed as well. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.